Hello, this is DNA Tech, and today I'm very proud to present to you the very first One UI ROM based on Android 9.0 Pie for the Samsung Galaxy J7 2016. Let's begin. Alright, so what I got running here is the Samsung Galaxy J7 2016, and let me show you the version of the Android as well as the name of the ROM. It is called RefinedPie A6, and the version that it is on is Android 9.0 and the One UI version 1.1, which is the latest version. So let's take a look at what features can we expect from this ROM. So you know that One UI, its main ideology of One UI is the one-handed usability, and it can be seen throughout the UI. For example, let me head back into the settings. As you can see that the headings, it takes almost a half top of the top half of the screen, and thus it push whole content down. As you can see, shift the whole UI down to this way so that it is a lot easier to reach with your only one hand. It also applies to different menus in the settings, like accessibility, for example. If you just swipe down, you can see it's very easy. The whole menu, it goes down so that it is a lot easier to reach. It's not just in the settings, but in the phone app, it's the same thing, right? The dialer, of course, and the menus, the right at the bottom, as you can see. Or some other Samsung apps like the calendar, or the message app, for example, right? The whole UI is down so that it's at the bottom of the screen, so it doesn't take up anything on top. Also in the quick settings, for example, right, the whole bunch of toggles are right at the bottom, which makes it very easy to reach within your thumb. Now, one thing I like about One UI is the camera. Yeah, the camera. It's not because it is better in terms of quality. In fact, it's the same as any other ROM that I tested. It's just that it has a lot more features. For example, in this camera app here, there is a pro mode, right? There is a dedicated night mode for this one. There's a panorama built in, as you can see. There's the photo mode, continuous shot, sports, and HDR. And one of the things I really like about the One UI is about this camera is that it supports front-facing portrait mode, right? So you can see that I have a portrait mode going on. I can take that picture, and the portrait mode works fine, even though there are some flaws. Also, you can see that face unlock is also present and accounted for. So as you can see that I can just register with my face, and it can let me in. Just like there's a face unlock right there. It doesn't work quite as fast as I would thought, and sometimes it would just tell no match. But you have to be in a very specific situation. For example, let's just unlock my face here, and okay, there we go. So you can see that it just unlocked very quick. Even though it takes a bit of time, it still works just fine. Also, one thing I love about One UI is the customization. In the settings, you can find a lot of options related to, let's say, customization. For example, in the lock screen, you can change the clock style, for example, right? The thing that appears on your lock screen, as you can see. And also notifications. Also, there's a dedicated dark mode as well. So you can see you have a night mode there. If I turn it off, it turns white. I turn it on, it turns black. Alright, which is a really nifty little feature. Also, there's also theme supported as well. Like if you use the Samsung themes, it also works just fine. And speaking of themes, Substratum also works really well. Okay, I tested it with the pitch black theme, and all the apps except for the Facebook Messenger Lite works well. Okay, um, which is a good thing. And of course, we got some motions and gesture features that should also be worth mentioning. In the advanced gesture features, there's stuff like game launcher, game tools, dual messenger for using two separate accounts, floating messages, and of course you can lock apps as well, which is really nice. And of course, since this is Android 9, we also get digital well-being, which is built in, right? As you can see, digital well-being is present. Right, we got some wind down dashboard, all the full-fledged that digital well-being is here. Now, let's take a look at what's working with this ROM. The first is full LTE. This is one of the features that never works on AOSP based ROM like Lineage OS or CR Droid, but with this ROM it works. And of course, other TouchWiz based ROM supports VoLTE as well. So if you're a VoLTE kind of guy, then this is a great ROM for you. Now let's look at how it kind of performs in terms of raw power and battery life after around 3 days of using. Now, it is actually quite good. Performance is quite good. However, it is not as smooth or as fast as AOSP ROMs that I tested. It is pretty obvious since this is an One UI ROM. This is a Samsung TouchWiz One UI kind of ROM. It's not a stock Android by any means. So you're not getting a top-notch performance. Still getting, decent performance, decent smoothness. You're still getting hiccups here and there. But it is not a terrible experience at all, right? But one thing I noticed is gaming performance. It's not been quite as good as AOSP ROMs, not even close. Some people on XDA has been reporting PUBG or any other games they play. They don't play as smoothly as other ROMs, or even stock ROM for that matter. And that is despite of the Elite Tuner, or one of the controller app for the kernel, which is the Helios kernel, included with this ROM, right? Which is pretty surprising. And lastly, let's talk about battery life. It's okay to me, alright? I can get through a day with moderate usage quite well. So as you can see, this is my gallery. Let me show you my battery usage. 5.5 hours of on-screen time. That is with Facebook, intensive Facebook, Messenger, and YouTube, and a lot of gaming, a lot of newspaper reading. I can get through it with 5.5 hours, which is okay to me. Lastly, let's talk about issues and bugs expected on this ROM. The first problem that I noticed is that for some reason I could not launch the camera using any quick method. I cannot launch the camera using double press the power button, nor can I use the double press power button to launch the camera. Alright, and in fact there's no option in the settings of the camera or in the main settings whatsoever that mentions quick launch the camera, right? Which is really weird considering that this should be a default feature. Also, GPS and VPN does not work. The GPS is pretty obvious if you go into location, right? You can see that there's no option for GPS scanning. Alright, that's probably because of the fact that they don't recognize the GPS. The GPS, the modem might not be recognized, so they don't show up here. Also, auto VPN is not working. You can use stuff like OpenVPN as a workaround. Also, there's a radio problems. I'm not sure about this because I don't have the radio app installed on my phone, so couldn't test that. It's something that the developer has stated. But to me, the biggest issue with this ROM has been the app crashing issue. For example, I launched the Solitary app, the game, and out of nowhere, it just crashed like that. Out of nowhere, it just crashed. It's not just in Solitary, but in Google. Google is the biggest, is the most important app for everyone, right? And not only does the feed go haywire, but also if you're trying to search something, it crashes. Again, it crashes. Same goes with like today weather. Some today weather sometimes crash, right? Just wait for it. Yeah, it just crashes. And this is really annoying. I mean, I just can't get past that. Now this usually occurs when I reboot my phone. Um, when the ROM is just flash, it works. The games, the Solitary, and the Google, it works well, really well. But as long as I reboot the phone, it stopped working. They just stop working completely. And this is not an issue found in just the RefinedPie ROM, but also found in Oreo Fusion and Oreo Sama that I also tested. So that is the biggest issue. So that's it for the new RefinedPie A6 One UI ROM for the Samsung Galaxy J7 2016. Well, I hope you like this video, and whether I want to recommend this ROM or not, I would say if your phone doesn't have the app crashing issue that I just mentioned, then it would be an amazing ROM. It has all the stuff you expect, VoLTE, NFC, and all that stuff. They work really well. Performance may not be the best, but it is consistently good compared to previous Samsung Experience ROM. And also battery life and the new features you'd expect is which should satisfy you. But if your app crashing is something you just can't stand, then this is not going to be the ROM for you. So that's what I have to say about the One UI ROM for the Galaxy J7. I hope you like this video. If you love this video, click the like button down below. If you don't, click the thumbs down. If you love this channel, hit the subscribe button down below, and also leave some comments for future videos. Thank you and goodbye.